What is up, everyone? I'm Skratch. Welcome to the channel. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. How I mentioned in the previous video that I released today, guys, the weekly kickoff where I'm kind of like explaining you everything that you should expect for this week. I mentioned that we're gonna get news about an upcoming fusion. Now, I wasn't expecting it to be today, okay? And 20 minutes later, I click on the events, fusion warm-up event. I was like, damn it, couldn't this just drop a bit earlier than it did, you know? Make sure you guys are completing it. It's super easy, guys. Level up an artifact to level 8 every single day. Maybe even level 4 is enough. I never really paid attention to it, but you're getting an ancient shard and some other goodies once you're gonna complete it. For whatever reason, it seems like they have a bit of a bug right now because you can't really seem to be able to access any of these things here. We do have all the information about the upcoming fusion. But before we move over to that, I just want to point out a couple of different things, or actually one thing. On Tuesday, November 14th, they are planning to launch an extra legendary event from Sacred Shards. So if you guys have any Sacred Shards left, by any means, okay, you're going to have a chance to summon a legendary and get one free. Now, this is only recommended if you opened 10, 15 plus sacred shards and you haven't summoned the legendary. Of course, I'm not telling you not to YOLO one sacred and try your luck. That's up to your own thing. You know, you do whatever you want. But usually, you do get value out of these events when you wasted quite a few shards with no legendary and you're getting closer to a mercy, closer to a point where you feel like, okay, I definitely have a higher chance to hit a legendary champion now. The chances to summon will still be the same. Now, unfortunately, Plarium didn't do the event together with Xena, okay? So they scrapped that off. They could have done this 2+ on Sacreds with Xena because she is 10x right now on something. I don't even know on what. I would assume she's... Oh, okay, she's only on Ancients. My bad, okay. I thought that she was on Sacreds. Maybe they're gonna put her on the Sacreds. That will double the chances for people to get her that don't want to spend money and have some Sacred saved. Now, that's all. This event will last, if I'm not mistaken, for 48 hours. But it's not mentioned in here, so I cannot guarantee if that's gonna be on for 24 or for 48 hours, unfortunately. Usually, I tend to get only bad champions from those events, so keep that in mind. Most of the people that post screenshots, they end up just with fusion champions or bad champions, you know, like Queen Eva and, I don't know, Opardin. These sort of champion pools, you know, or, I don't know, Dragstar and somebody else. Dragstar is great, but you can get him for free. That's the main point, you know. Moving over to the next topic. So, Plarium is releasing a fusion. I'm quickly gonna read you what they said. Actually, let me just bring that on the screen. Now we're quickly going to check these guys and then we're going to have a quick look at the kit. So on Thursday, November 16th, we're planning to launch a champion fragment event with a new champion, Ugir. Faction, Ogrin Tribes, Legendary, HP, Spirit Affinity. Pretty interesting so far. Ugir will be an arena anti-revive champion. Interesting, very curious. Ugir brings quite a lot to the table when we're talking about the arena. Transferring and blocking buffs, removing buffs and weakening your enemies. So for the moment, all I'm seeing that this champion brings is that he can transform himself into a ship better than anyone else in the game. So he's definitely going to be a great vault keeper for every single player that pushes the higher tier of arena. And I mean gold 3, gold 4 in tag team arena, even gold 2, gold 1, because there is a lot of polymorph involved in that as well. And if you are progressing through the game, I don't want to take it away from you. Yes, you will be able to use this champion to strip buffs. 100%, not a problem. It could potentially have some more niche use in PvP, maybe for Doom Tower waves where they're going to revive and you need to remove the buffs from them, etc. But at the same time, a Madame series will work amazing. A Ryan the Conjurer will work amazing. And guess what happen with those champions? They're just guarding vaults for the majority of players because you can't really risk to get polymorphed every time you strip a buff, okay? Polymorph just completely ruined all these champions, and over 1 year later, Plarium is still not taking any measures whatsoever, okay? Then, the The champion will buff your own team, paired with the accuracy aura in arena battles to ease using those effects. So just to basically have a much higher chance to get polymorph than usual. I do not understand why they're constantly releasing ships. Are they out of ideas, or they just want to mess up with the player base? Like, let's F your spirit up and let me give you another ship in the game. Let me give you another ship because we love this ship so much. What makes this champion stand out is the passive skill. Once an enemy revives an ally, Agir instantly activates the A2 and attacks all enemies, removes all buffs from them, and places weakened debuff on top of that. So not only that you're gonna use the skill yourself and have a chance to get polymorph, but if you kill somebody and by any chance Wukong comes back to life, okay? Wukong comes back to life every 3 turns. This champion is gonna activate the passive and he's gonna get himself shipped again just because of it, you know? Just because of it. Awesome champion. So, how you've noticed in the title, you've noticed it in the thumbnail. This is the perfect fusion because we can skip it, guys, okay? The perfect fusion because we can skip it and focus on the next one and hope that that will not be another ship added to Raid Shadow Legends, because by now it seems like this is Raid Shadow Ship, you know? Raid Shadow Ship, the Shepherd, and we have all the ships here making a big party, you know? Considering almost all revive places some buffs on the revived champions, this passive skill might definitely come in handy. It would have been so freaking amazing, so amazing 2 years ago. My god, this champion would have been the top of the meta 2 years ago. 100%. But it's a bit late. It's a bit late. So I'm not even going to read the rest of it because it's just... it just feels too funny. So let's actually go and check out the champion. So this is the champion. Looks awesome, right? Like, the design looks sick. And they are mentioning that this is like Pythian's head sort of vibing here. So he's a bit against the lizard faction. We're going to check that in just a second. The champion design looks cool, but the face looks like an orc to me, in my opinion. Maybe I'm a bit wrong, no? It does look a bit like an orc. So here we go. Here we go, guys. The kid. With the A1 attacks one enemy, has an 80% chance, 100% chance of stealing a random buff from the enemy, also has a 100% chance of placing a block buffs on the enemy for 2 turns. So just by using the basic skill, he has 2 chances of getting polymorph directly. The A2 Earth Puncture on a 3-turn cooldown attacks all enemies, has a fully booked 100% chance of removing all buffs from all enemies, then has a chance of placing a weakened debuff for 2 turns. If you're thinking about Ryan the Conjurer, the epic champion that you are getting from the Doom Tower, that champion has a chance to put block buffs with the A1, and of course has pretty much the exact same skill. Removes all buffs and places weaken on the enemies. So that's pretty good. It's a decent kit. How I mentioned, it's hard to use it, man. Maybe some of you guys will get value out of this champion in the lower tiers of Arena. For tag team Arena, maybe you're trying to progress for your Ramantu missions, you know. Keep him in mind. But I'll be honest, I don't think I would use him over a Madame series, okay? Just that defense down and decrease attack is just so much better than what this champion does, okay? Then you have the A3 Ogre Fortitude, places an increased accuracy buff on all allies for 2 turns. Also places an increased defense buff on all allies whose defense is higher than or equal to their attack for 2 turns. If an ally's attack is higher than their defense, places an increased attack on them for 2 turns instead. And this will be on a 3-turn cooldown. Now this, I'm gonna admit it, this is a nice skill. And this skill pairs very nice the rest of his kit. Now synergy-wise, this kit makes a lot of sense. But in the current state of the game, with the current meta, this just makes absolutely no sense to release more champions like this because they're not being used by anyone. You have Stone Skin in the game. Then you have Polymorph. Polymorph is not going anywhere, guys. Polymorph ruined all these champions and is here to stay for freaking ever. And it just doesn't make sense to have this champion in the game as it is because Stone Skin is a 50-50 chance to remove it. Probably you're not going to remove the buffs from them. So it's pretty pointless to attempt it, you know. At least at the higher... in the end game of Arena, let me put it like that. But, how I mentioned, this looks cool. To have increased accuracy, you even have a chance to give increased attack to your nukers. You have a increased defense on your support champions, which is very, very nice. and then you have a chance to remove all buffs and put a weaken on the enemies, you know? I wouldn't necessarily say that he cannot be used in the Hydra, but you prefer to have block buffs in Hydra, you prefer to have a HP burn, and the rest of the kit is not that massive for Hydra anymore. Then you have the passive. Whenever an enemy is revived, instantly activates Earth Puncture. If an enemy is revived by a champion from the Lizardman faction, the effect cannot be resisted. This passive effect will only activate when enemy is revived using an active skill. Okay, so it's not working for passives like Sun Wukong or anything like that, because that would have been so freaking dumb. This champion to constantly get polymorphed. Instantly activate Earth Puncture will not place the skill on cooldown. If there are multiple champions on the team with the skill, only one will activate. And he has an accuracy aura for arena only. 70 accuracy. That's a shame that is only for arena and not for all battles. I would have preferred 40 or 50 accuracy in all battles. It would have made more sense. So, as usual, I will personally go for the fusion, guys, because I will collect all these Pokemons as long as they're not impossible to get. But I'm very curious to hear your thoughts. I feel like for a lot of people it will be an easy skip because you have other champions doing these things in the game. Yes, you don't have other champions to give you increased accuracy and remove buffs at the same time, or give you even the increased attack or even the increased defense. But at the same time, Madame Series and all the others, they're just basically guarding the vault for the majority of the player base, okay? And it is what it is. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you planning to go for this fusion, or you're saving for the Christmas fusion? Appreciate all of you guys watching. Much love, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.